What's up, everyone? This is DyanaRozay. Welcome to my channel. You saw the thumbnail, so you know exactly why you're here. I bring a unique commentary to your favorite reality TV shows and whatever is popping on social media. And we have a lot to talk about today, okay? Celebrity news, non-celebrity news, you name it, we're going to get to it. I got some updates. Also, you guys, please, okay, because the YouTube algorithm is very funny acting. I need you to hit the like, subscribe, and your notification bell because that is how others find me right here on YouTube. And thank you all for watching my videos and for rocking with me, okay? So let's get to it. Like I said, there is a lot to go through, so I want to make sure I get this done in a timely manner. First up, timely manner. First up is Shaquayla Robinson. If you guys didn't check out my video from last night, I taught you about things that we can do to make sure that the United States government keep their eyes on this case. The family was asking that, people who support them support, what was happening and want to make sure that someone is brought to justice, have a march in Washington on May 19th, which is next month. Because, the United States government, the FBI people who were investigating the case right here on American soil said, we're not arresting anyone of the Cabo Six. We didn't see anything that support moving forward with an arrest or extraditing anyone outside of the country. Or back to Mexico. So they said it's not going to happen. A lot of people were up in arms and confused yesterday. I know I was. I actually asked the question, can we see whatever, reports they have that said nothing can move forward? Well, baby, North Carolina News said, well, we're going to ask. We're going to ask to see what happened, and they did. And I have that report for you guys. I'm going to put it up on my screen, too, so you can see it for yourselves. But they said they have a new report detailing the minutes before and the minutes after Sanquella passed away. They said that this investigation has lasted for months, I believe almost 6 months to be exact. And they said that people have been searching for answers every step of the way. So Charlotte has asked the same question. What has happened to this young lady? And an autopsy was actually given to them that was conducted in Charlotte on November 17th, 2022. So right here in the U.S., performed in Charlotte, North Carolina. And they said that the reports of her spine being broken, and that came from Mexican authorities, completely contradicts what the United States authorities found. They said that her spine was intact. There was absolutely no issue. Whew. They also said they've given us some details leading up to that, so we get an actual time frame. So it says the new autopsy details the days leading up to and the minutes following her passing. So they're starting with October 28th. They said on October 28th, it was reported that she had been drinking heavily, and that on October 28th, she started and it continued into the wee hours of October 29th. This is what I'm reading from my phone, okay? They said on October 29th at between 7 and 7:30 a.m. Is this the one? No, between 7 and 7:30 a.m. It was also shown on a cell phone video, was video captured, that she had been assaulted by someone who went on that trip with her or was in that room with her. But she reportedly went back to her room and back to bed following the incident. So that is what this is saying. Then it starts with what happened shortly before noon. It says there is no further information available between 7:30, and right before noon until she was found laying face down on the bathroom floor by housekeeping, who notified her friends. At 2:15, friends requested medical, and I don't even like calling them friends. At 2:15, the people that was in that home with her or at that hotel requested medical care for her, reporting that she had consumed too much alcohol and needed hydration. At 3:15, Shaquayla was evaluated at the residence by a doctor who found her to be minimally responsive and clearly dehydrated. At 4:49 p.m., during attempts to place an IV for hydration, she went into convulsive crisis, followed by a complete cardiopulmonary arrest. At 5:57 p.m., multiple rounds of resuscitation were unsuccessful, and she was pronounced deceased at the residence. So part of this we heard as well. I think that was a part of the initial report. But now we're getting some other stuff. So this is what they're saying that happened October 30th, 2022. A partial autopsy was done in Mexico, and that was the one that has been circulating around. And now the US government is saying this is their findings. They said no skull fractures were present, no evidence of injury to the upper airway, no hemorrhage in the surrounding neck muscle, or fracture hemorrhage of the mid to lower cervical. Okay. Removal and sectioning of the organs reveal no evidence of other trauma or disease. No fractures of the ribs or the remainder of the vertebral column, They said slight lateral scoletic, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, curvature is present in the upper to mid thoracic spine. No evidence of hemorrhage or disruption of any of the musculature, ligaments, or spinal elements. These are words that you don't say every day, so you have to make sure you're pronouncing them correctly. And then it says no fractures are seen in the posterior of the spinal column. No evidence of any disruption of the spinal column, alignment, or subluxation. So that is completely different from what we all been told for the last couple of months. So this really has been a roller coaster, okay? Roller coaster, roller coaster, roller coaster. It also says that Mexican prosecutors had previously filed charges in the case, and U.S. authorities have not honored it because none of this stuff adds up to what they were saying. So you guys let me know what y'all feel about that. I remember there was a young lady in Chicago, and I think this may have been a year or two ago, and she was found in a freezer. And a lot of people thought foul play happened there, and the FBI investigated, and then they released a video that showed that the young lady had walked herself into the freezer, but it put the world on an emotional roller coaster, and we have been on one here. Now the family still feels strongly that there was foul play, it sounds like, if they're asking people to go to Washington, D.C. and march with them and make sure the American government, the U.S. government, just, keep eyes on what's going on. And the government has asked that if any additional information comes up, to please present it, and they will definitely investigate, and, maybe charges can be made in the future. But you guys let me know what y'all think about this now that we have the third autopsy report here. So I do believe that this is the third one, or maybe this is the second. I'm not sure. It's been confusing. I thought we had two leading up to this, and now, because I thought the first time they were saying it was alcohol poisoning, the second time it was no alcohol found in her system, or that at the very minimum it wasn't a result of alcohol poisoning, it was the injury to her spine, and now they're saying there was no injury at all. So you guys can let me know how y'all feel about that in the comments. I know that a lot of you have been sharing you were going to go to DC and on the 19th, but I'm just curious how you guys feel about it. So let's move on to another topic. We're going to get this one out of the way too. And this is Jamie Foxx. This is him and his daughter. You guys may know or may not know that his daughter had asked that people pray for him. He had a stroke yesterday. And it sounds like it was a really bad situation because family from out of state, a whole bunch of people were flying in to make sure that they spent time with him. But as of this morning, they're saying that he is in a much better state than he was yesterday. And I read one report that actually said he was talking. So that is really a good sign because, after a stroke, your language can be affected. Of course, your movement can be affected, and you have to go through the entire rehabilitation process. But let's send prayers to Jamie Foxx's family, and let's continue to send prayers. I should have said this with the last story. Let's continue to send prayers for Shaquayla's family, her mother, her father, whomever in that family, we need to send prayers for them. I believe her sister, everybody has been asking for justice in this case. And I don't know, this has to be also a shock to have this information come to them. So let's get to the next story. Let's see who else I got let's talk about something good because I literally, I've been talking a whole bunch about things that is bringing me down. I know that. Let's talk about Chris Samuels real quick, y'all. Check him out, okay? Chris Samuels is getting thin. Look at this man. He has lost pounds. Do you hear me? Um, he is getting himself tight and right, it looks like, and he is basically giving us his journey on social media. This is his social media page. I'm trying to get to another search, but it doesn't look like it's allowing me to do that. Let me do this real fast. Search Chris Samuels. Oh, here we go. So yeah, here he is. Look how thin he is. I'm telling you. Now we all know that him and Monique are working on some things. He's is still wearing a ring on his finger. She's still wearing her band. I saw that, or she's wearing a band on her ring finger. But it looks like Chris is working on himself physically. He's been going to concerts and things too. This is the one with Escape. So I think this is Silk, right? So he is showing himself with Silk, just hanging out. There's Candy Burris, his husband. And there, of course, is the girls of Escape. What else does Chris have going on? Oh, this is a picture. I think he took this. He said he was at a fedora event. So he wants people to know that he's doing okay, that he is out there in them streets and having a good time. And like I said, him and Monique are still wearing rings on their ring fingers. So hopefully everything is going well for them. But I just wanted to share that story just to keep it light. Okay. Y'all can let me know if y'all think that Chris Samuels is getting fine. Okay. And what y'all think about it. Okay. Let's talk about these people right here. This is Aiden and Mariah from Married to Medicine, you guys. They were in, I think, Sri Lanka, but check out their son. Y'all remember that little boy? He's taller than his dad now. I just thought that was cool. Like, I really like to see the families as they get older. Her daughter does not appear to have gone on the trip. There was no pictures of them, but I did want to show you guys that because we watch these kids grow up on TV, and I just love to see, how they progress in life. But I thought that was cool. Now let's see who else I got on here. Okay. If you guys missed my recap for episode 1, please check it out. The official title was called of the official title of the first episode was called a Holt, Holt, and a prayer. Okay, but I called it Plot Exposed because we got to see a little extra-ness from Stormy and her mama, and I thought that was interesting. Okay, but I do want to show you this too. Let's talk about Maurice and Kimmy real quick, because y'all know that there has been some unaired footage that was released from the scene that Melody did with Kimmy and Maurice. And in the scene, Kimmy says, "I tried to call you for your birthday, ho." And Melody laughed, actually. She high-fived her. I think Maurice gasped a little bit. Like he was like, oh my God, like kind of thing. But I was like, I know friends do talk to each other like that, but how good of a friend are you, Miss Kimmy, to be calling this woman a hoe? They did not air it, like I said. It's the unaired footage, but I just thought that was interesting. But the entire time when she said I tried to call you for your birthday, it was because Melody changed her number. So we've already heard this conversation go down from Melody. She shared with everybody that she does not fool with people after filming. She likes to take her time to, get herself together. She talked about it with Carlos King when he did his recap for the episode. And now in the unaired footage, it was discussed with Kimmy. And Kimmy said, I understand. This is what she does. I know. I ended up saying happy birthday to you another way. Sounds like she DM'd her. Okay, Stormy, sounds like she DM'd her. But y'all, Miss Kimmy was asked about that scene between Melody and Stormy on Gossip on Monday, I believe. And Kimmy said, listen, all of us should know by now that Melody does not engage after filming. She likes to take her time. We should all be used to it. I guess some people might have feelings about it, but we all know that this is a situation. And I just thought, again, people are just, you know what I'm saying? Taking their time to poke them holes all in everybody's story. So interesting stuff. I just wanted to share that with you guys. Another thing that Kimmy said about in that interview that I found interesting is she said that there was a lot of people who didn't think that Maurice would be there for her during this journey of her cancer. And she said a lot of people have shared that. And I was kind of curious, does she mean the internet, like the fans of the show, or is she talking about people that she knows? It was just an odd thing to say, but she said that Maurice has been beside her the entire time. And she also said, I knew that he would be. So y'all let me know what y'all think about that. You think she was talking about the internet? Do you think there's other people that Kimmy knows that love Kimmy, who's also maybe in her ear about Mr. Maurice? I don't know. It was crazy. It was just a crazy way to put it. She talked about Martel and she was asked, I should say, she was asked about Martel and the prayer and, stuff like that. And one of the things she said that I found interesting, because Melody is going to be talking about that later in an interview on Bondi's page. She said that Martel has always been a family guy, that is something she knows about him, that he said himself, even though, he's a person who didn't seem to value his family, even after being given multiple chances to correct it. She said that of him. And she also said that she didn't think that Melody and Martel would ever divorce. And I've heard this from other cast members on the show. They've said it at different times that they didn't think that, Melody would move forward with it. And I would like, I'm hoping that people could all change their stories around it, because them saying it and Martel not being able to get over it, it's too much. I feel like people need to make sure that this man lives in reality. And so saying things like, I never thought he was going to get a divorce. I never thought it was really going to happen. Once the decision is made, and it's been 3 years now, you got to get on board with it and say, at the very minimum, I respect her decision to move on. So y'all can let me know what y'all think about that in the comments, okay? What else did I want to talk about? Melody Cherie did a press tour on the 11th. She had a couple of people that she went to visit. One of the things she said was that the cast is going to resume filming in May. So that's next month. So the second half of the season is going to start filming next month. She also said that there is a cast trip for, this season of Love and Marriage Huntsville. So I think their first cast trip was to Vegas. So we're going to get to see another cast trip. It looks like OWN is putting a whole bunch of money into promoting this show and making sure that it comes out on top. They said it's their #1 show, and it is leading everything #1 in scripted and unscripted. And that is a big accomplishment. Melody has put her entire life well, I shouldn't say entire. I'm sure there's some things that she's kept for her, but she's put a lot of her life on the forefront so that people, we all talk about it. And to know that it is the #1 show. If people say pay you for your pain, pay Melody for her pain. Make sure that she stays #1 is what I say. But y'all can let me know what y'all think in the comment section, okay? I also wanted to point this out, since I'm talking about pay me for your pain kind of thing. Check out the ratings, you guys. 288,000 for the first episode. And this was the actual episode where Kimmy is giving her, health journey and saying that the chemo treatments were successful. So I really hate to see that these ratings are low, and I'm really hoping that they can bump up as we continue. But I do want to also show you this. Check out the ratings for Basketball Wives. Now, this is not a show that I watch anymore. I have abandoned this show a long time ago, but baby, season 10, zero between for the demographic of 18 to 49, zero followers. Unbelievable. I should say zero viewers, not followers. Unbelievable. I don't think I've ever seen that before. But y'all let me know. Did anyone watch that episode? If you did, put it on in the chat, because for whatever reason, it wasn't recorded. I don't know if that's the Nielsen ratings. I know that there's several things that go into the ratings now, or the viewers. But y'all let me know what y'all think about that in the comments, okay? What else is going on? Do I have anything else for you? Yeah, I told you I had some Real Housewives of Potomac news. So let me find that picture. Whew, let's put this up. Giselle and Candace are still going at it. If you guys are watching Real Housewives or Ultimate Girls Trip, you would have seen Giselle accuse the entire house of stealing her Casa Amigos. I believe that's how it's pronounced, or that's the name of it, tequila. She said, I don't drink anything else except for that. And someone stole it from me. She said, I had it on the yacht. I took it off the yacht, brought it back into the house. We were drinking out of the bottle that night. Several people went to bed. I put it on a shelf. And when I woke up the next day, it was gone. And she said she wanted a search of everyone's room and luggage to prove they didn't have it, which is wild. You guys let me know what y'all think about it. I think it's wild. If it's gone, it's gone. But she said, no, I demand a search of everyone in this house. And then she even pinpointed people she believed were, possible culprits. She was like, and Candace happened to be one of them, because Candace said, you're not searching my room. You're not searching my luggage. I don't give a damn if you lost your tequila. Who cares? But y'all let me know what y'all think about it. But anyway, it got worse. The reason why I said it got worse is because Candace ended up revealing some additional information about Giselle maybe being a little trigger happy with accusing people of stealing. And I wanted you guys to hear what she had to say. This is actually a clip from the House of Aaron. So check it out.
And something similar happened. She pulled something similar to this at our reunion. She misplaced her phone and she accused a Black man of stealing.
Oh, which reunion was
what
this?
She does. The most recent one.
Oh wow, a Black man, like a production member?
It was someone who was working on the show, is what I will say.
So she said that Giselle misplaced her phone, which means she found it, but I guess she point blank accused a person, according to Candace, of stealing it. And she didn't say if she apologized or what happened, but that's an ugly look, Giselle, for that to have happened twice. The viewing audience got to see it on the show, and I just kind of took it in stride as, being a part of the show. But I hope that this isn't something that she does, but y'all can let me know how y'all feel about it in the comments, okay? I know there's people who love Giselle and there's people that don't. I just find it unfortunate that Candace and Giselle are in this place where they are, tearing each other down. And if this is what's going on, it's pretty similar to what we saw with Love and Marriage Huntsville. If you're tearing people down in your interviews and then going back to film the show, which she's going to be doing, I think they already started filming for Potomac, then that's going to carry out on the show too. So you guys let me know what y'all think about that in the comment section, please. Let me see. I think I have one more story for you guys. And this is a story that I just thought was interesting and I wanted to share it with y'all. Y'all, if you are paying attention to other news outside of, the gossip news, y'all know that there is, I think 3 or 4 countries that is coming together to create a dollar that's going to have a stronger value than the American dollar. And I think it's Russia, China, India. Who else? There's one other one. I forgot the name of it. Anyway, they're coming together to joining together to create a currency that's going to be stronger than the American dollar. And people are trying to figure out what that is going to mean for all of us, because that is going to be a heavy impact. We already saw the crash and burn of Bitcoin, right? Which, you know, my husband has a theory. I'm not in Bitcoin, by the way. We weren't in Bitcoin, but my husband has a theory that it was probably done on purpose so that this new thing could come about, right? And that's not, you know, crazy to think. But I also wanted to point this out too. Some of you may have read it or not, or some of you may not, but they said that an arrest was made in San Francisco regarding the passing of Bob Lee. And Bob Lee was a big tech at Cash App, and a big executive at Cash App. And now they have shared that it was actually someone he worked with. And this is a big deal because Cash App kind of leads with currency, the exchange of currency. But anyways, when it happened, there was a whole bunch of people saying it was a homeless person and basically accusing everybody else except someone that this man knows of doing it. And sometimes, you know, just imagine what would have happened if the wrong person was accused. However, I want to show you who the actual person is, okay? First, it says that San Francisco Police Department early this morning made an arrest in the April 4th passing of Bob Lee. He was a tech executive, okay? We're told that the police today dispatched to Emeryville with a warrant to arrest a man named Nima Mamani, and that the officers actually traveled to correspond with this person. So it looks like he may have been on the run. Multiple police sources have described, and this guy was actually, they used a knife to make the attack, that it left the 43-year-old Lee deserted in a section of downtown San Francisco, and that he was not robbed and it was not a random attack. Then they go on to say that Lee and Mamani were portrayed by police as being familiar with one another. I wonder how familiar. In the wee hours of April 4th, they were, well, we know they worked together, but they didn't say they worked together. They just said familiar. In the wee hours of April 4th, they were purportedly, in the wee hours of April 4th, they were purportedly driving together through downtown San Francisco in a car that was registered to the suspect. And then some manner of confrontation allegedly commenced between both men that were in the vehicle. And then Lee exited the vehicle at some point. And they're saying that Mamani got out of the car, and that's when he unalived him. And then they give the address. But just so people can see this face, because we put everybody else's faces up here, I wanted to show you guys who Nima Mamani actually looks like. And he describes himself as an IT consultant entrepreneur. And you guys can talk to me about that too. I'm trying to do a balance of news because sometimes we can hear stories about, and then, you know, we forget there's other people and other things going on in the world. So I just want to share, try to give you guys a more balanced perspective of things that is going on out here. And you guys can let me know how y'all feel about it, like you always do in the comments, okay? That is basically my story for today. Is there anything else I want to talk to you guys about? Let me make sure I got everything. I think that's it. I really love you guys. Thank y'all so much for watching my channel. Like I said before, hit the like, subscribe, and that notification bell, and I will see you all on the next one.